Okay, wine number two for November, or Cabernet number two. Oh, almost picked up the wrong bottle. Here we go. From Italy, Cabernet Sauvignon from Italy, Prelius della Volpaia. I don't think we've had Volpaia for Wine Club, but I know I've used it for events, and Volpaia in Tuscany makes, I think, some of the best and best valued Chiantis. If I'm going to grab a Chianti off a shelf for around $25, I'm usually grabbing Volpaia if I see it. It's one of the few wineries where I will go back and keep buying wine from. This is not made, though, in Tuscany. Prelius is the name of an ancient lake in the Maremma, which is about 5 miles from the ocean in the western side of Tuscany. It's where the Super Tuscans come from. It's where there's been a lot of growth of non-traditional grapes, Bordeaux-style grapes like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, non-Bordeaux like Syrah, and a lot of these are made as freestanding wines, Bordeaux-style blends, or blended with Sangiovese, the noble grape of Tuscany, as we've tasted before, as we've explored Chianti in many different ways. So first time I tasted this again, I was blown away, especially at the price point. It's organic. They make about 6,000 cases. Really, maybe about a quarter of that gets into the United States. Prelius is the name of an ancient lake that no longer exists. It was Priel, Prile, is also what is known as today, the region. It was an ancient lake that the Etruscans and the ancient Romans used for raising fish and also for mining salt. Again, about 5 miles from the ocean, and probably the ocean was maybe a lot closer at that point. It started to dry up because of topographical changes over the centuries. By the 1930s, what was left was this incredibly fertile riverbed where grapes grow incredibly well. Benedictine monks set up an abbey there, and the vineyards are actually not far from there, growing in this amazing soil. It was purchased by the family that owns Volpaia. Volpaia itself is in a part of Tuscany where wines was written where wines were first made. I think 1147 is the number. Somewhere in the 1140s, and by 1140s I don't mean time of day, I mean the year. The person behind Prelius is Federica Mascherone Stianti. The Mascherone family, her father made a good amount of money, I think, in printing or in bookbinding business, and he actually bought this vineyard site for his daughter, which is really nice. She's also a winemaker at Volpaia too, and she's really cool as shit. I mean, I've met her. She's got a great attitude. She's the kind of person you want to drink wine with, and she makes really good wine. They also make a Vermentino under this label. And I think they also do a couple of blends as well. But this is 100% organic Cabernet Sauvignon. That's kind of what the ancient lake looked like. Gives you a little picture of the topography. And excuse me. And there's also a little code on the back there, a little QR code that you can stick your phone on, and it'll take you right to a little more information about them. Again, this is a classic Cabernet. Probably a little bit lower in alcohol, I'm going to guess. Yeah, it's about 13.5% alcohol, where the Doris, the Gale Wines Doris, was just a shade under 14%. And again, really, really good wine. This is Cabernet the way it probably, when we had the when we had the box Sangiovese and the Fiasco Sangiovese. Remember I said these are Sangioveses the way they used to be, lower in alcohol, a little bit dialed back. And I would say this is a Cabernet the way it used to be too. Still has that dark fruit, the cassis, the black currants, still a lot of those classic flavors in the that you find in Cabernet, but again at a very reasonable price, and really well made and really well grown. So there you go. That's number two. Enjoy it.